NBC Sports, home of the Olympic Games, the Premier League, the PGA Tour, Primetime's #1 show, Sunday Night Football, and Super Bowl 56, only on NBC.
This is Football Night in America, presented by Progressive.
One team, one dream. Every play counts. Yeah. Do what you gotta do. We here now. This is why we play the game.
Are you ready? Let's go. It's all about survival.
It is good, and the Bengals win. San Francisco has stunned Green Bay.
The Bills attempting their revenge on this night.
We got one opportunity.
Back-to-back AFC champions. The trophy stays here.
It's all about survival.
Airborne. Intercepted. A pick six. And the Rams are blowing it open.
Tampa Bay touchdown from the dagger of the Eagles. Fire the cannons. The Bucs in pace.
Win another Super Bowl.
Yeah. Ready? Let's go.
Last year, it was the Buccaneers who won the Super Bowl right there in Raymond James Stadium. And if anyone knows about going back-to-back, it is that guy, Tom Brady. Hey, Tom, how's it going? He led the last team to do it. It was New England 17 years ago. Brady looked sharp on the field. He was sharp last week in the win over Philly. But a tougher test today against Aaron Donald and the Rams, who absolutely dismantled the Cardinals on Monday. He and Von Miller, part of a star-studded LA team hoping to play in a home Super Bowl of their own. Big news, though, for the Bucs. Their leading rusher, Leonard Fournette, is back in the lineup. He'd missed a month with a hamstring injury. Fans happy to see him back on the field. It's a great day for football. Mid-50s and a little bit cloudy in Tampa for this NFC Divisional game. It's all smiles and plenty of sun inside the studio here with us. Maria Taylor alongside Tony Dungy and Chris Sims. It's the last time we'll be in the studio before our next stop in LA for Super Bowl 56, but a lot of storylines to break down. Let's start with the latest news, and that's that right tackle Tristan Wirfs is not going to be able to go. He is inactive for the Buccaneers. We already knew that left tackle Andrew Whitworth was not going to be able to play for the Rams, but that's huge news considering that both of these teams have strong defensive linemen that want to pressure the QB coach.
No doubt. In the first game these teams played, it was passing game, passing game, passing game. So I really think protection is going to be the key. And who would have guessed that with all these stars we've got, that Joseph Noteboom, the backup left tackle for the Rams, and Josh Wells, the backup right tackle for the Bucs, might be the key guys today.
Yeah, it is amazing. I mean, there's a lot of, noteworthy players to talk about in this matchup for sure, but I do think Coach's point's real. It's going to come down to protecting the quarterback, who can win the line of scrimmage. Too many stars on both defensive lines. I mean, you talk about JPP and Shaq Barrett and Vita Vea, a very special group.
And Ndamukong Suh.
And Ndamukong Suh. And then the Rams, you flip it around there, of course, with Aaron Donald and Von Miller, special that way. But I will say this is where I'm interested in the game. We know the Bucs favored Super Bowl champs. We've seen them lose 4 times this year. It was against these type of defenses. Rams earlier, the Saints twice, Washington, good front fours, multiple in their secondary as far as the coverages and what they can do, and then can create the illusion of complexity, Coach, right? Where they blitz 2, they drop 2, and that can make Brady a little flinchy at times, and that's when we've seen their prime for an upset.
I can tell you this, I've played against Tom Brady a lot. You can't beat him without pass rush.
No doubt.
If you can't pressure him, you will not win.
It'll be interesting to watch because yesterday in the divisional rounds, we saw 19 sacks. So a super sack Saturday. We'll see what today has for us. And the winner of today's game will host the 49ers next weekend in the NFC Championship. And then tonight, it's Bills and Chiefs from Arrowhead. The winner of that one will host the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. And just in case you missed it, both 1 seeds got eliminated yesterday. Let's walk through how it went down, guys. The Bengals, big play Bengals, taking on Tennessee Titans. Ryan Tannehill in the 4th quarter tied at 16, ball tipped and intercepted.
And Chris, it was big plays from the defense, interceptions that turned the tide in this game.
No doubt. Tannehill was not at his best, forced too many balls into tight windows, and of course it came back to bite him in the butt, Maria.
Yeah, and it allowed Joe Burrow another chance. Who's it going to get it to?
Jamar Chase, maybe?
You think it's that guy? We're number 1.
Surprise.
19-yard gain, first down, sets up the rookie Evan McPherson for the 52-yard field goal. That is good. The Bengals win it. and now face the winner of the Bills or the Chiefs. Impressive win for the Bengals.
Yes. Big time. On the road, young football team to get that coach. I know I'm impressed.
Next game up would be the San Francisco 49ers going on the road against the 1 seed, the Green Bay Packers. Fourth quarter, Packers up 10-3, and punting, it's blocked.
I love this. The Niners had not been able to get much going on offense, so who rescues them? Their special team.
3 phases to a game.
Yes.
They reminded us that last night.
Second block of the game for the 49ers, blocked a field goal to end the first half as well. 49ers get the ball back, 1 minute left, game tied at 10. Deebo Samuel, why not?
3rd and 7, no problem. Just hand it off to Deebo Samuel. He was a beast yesterday.
He is. He's one of the best receivers in football, maybe the #1 weapon in football right now.
Sets up Robbie Gould from 45 yards, and guess what?
Speak of money, gold money.
Gold, boom.
Good as gold. Aaron Rodgers now 0-4 in playoff career versus the 49ers. Here's what he had to say about his future after the game.
You know, so many guys' contracts are up or on the brink or salary cap stuff. So a lot of decisions to be made. I don't want to be a part of a rebuild if I'm going to keep playing. So a lot of decisions, in the next couple months.
A lot of decisions for the 3-time MVP. Hasn't made it back to the Super Bowl since 2010, Coach. But what did you take away from his post-game comments about his future?
I appreciate Aaron's honesty, but I would much rather have heard him say, you know what, this is 2 years in a row. We've been that close to the Super Bowl. I want to come back. We want to do this. We've got the right thing going here. Look to the future and be excited.
Right.
That was disappointing.
A little bit. Yeah, they're not that far off. I mean, they got a good thing going there in Green Bay still. Hey, 49ers defense was special. The special teams were special, of course, with what you explained already. But the thing I look at, too, you got the 49ers and a team that's a Super Bowl team with maybe not a Super Bowl quarterback. And you got Green Bay, who, in my opinion, is still too Rodgers-centric. And if he doesn't take over the game, we look at them as a Super Bowl team because he's a Super Bowl quarterback. But I don't know if they're in the class of the 49ers as a complete roster. And I'm not surprised by the upset that we saw last night the 49ers pull off.
We're going to talk about coaching searches in a while, and everybody's looking for that master of X's and O's. And Kyle Shanahan is that. But you look at how he developed this team to win in tough situations, to win with defense. And yesterday, win with block punts and block field goals.
Right.
I love the way they put this team together. Hey, we can win in any
environment. Yeah, they got diversity in how they can pull it off.
I got to give credit where credit's due. Chris Sims actually did give the advantage to the 49ers. That's the only time I'll ever give him credit, ever.
Look at you.
Yeah, let's go back to Tampa Bay to hear from Jack Collinsworth, Rodney Harrison, and Drew Brees joining him on set on the field.
That's a rare little shout out to Chris Sims. I like that. It is an honor to be joined by two men who built their legacy in January. This Rams defense, they have stars at every level. So, Rod, what will Tom Brady be thinking facing this Rams team?
Tom absolutely hates this type of defense because it has so much speed, and they can put pressure on you directly in the middle of your face, which makes him uncomfortable. And then he has those guys, Miller and Floyd, coming off the edges. But to me, man, I look in the secondary, and you can just feel the impact of Jalen Ramsey and his attitude, because those guys are playing with a lot of swag.
Yeah, and they bring pressure from everywhere, but it used to be where you could know where Aaron Donald was and we're going to double him. Well, now you got Von Miller. Now you got Leonard Floyd. You got all these guys to worry about, and you can't take care of all of them.
And it's the first year of this Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford partnership. So what's been the story of this maiden voyage?
Well, what Stafford does is he gives them the ability to press the ball all over the field. You have to cover every blade of grass against these guys. Not only does he have a strong arm and he can push the ball down the field, but he can take care of all the short, intermediate passing game that this West Coast and Sean McVay offense wants to do. Here, great footwork, just 1, 2, 3, get the ball out of your hands. That is when Matthew Stafford is at his best. When he struggles is when he has to hold on to the ball, late in progressions, under duress. That's when you see these mistakes being made, the turnovers, deep in his own territory. It's really cost him this year. And in a game like this, you have to be able to take care of the football. You have to be able to avoid the negative plays.
Listen, a couple teams built with the Super Bowl or bust mentality, and both have a chance to host the NFC Championship.
It's the playoffs. Let's go, baby.
The Rams and the Bucks on divisional weekend.
Football Night in America is brought to you by Progressive. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. By Applebee's. Here's to the regulars. By Lowe's. We put the home in home team. And by Marriott Bonvoy. Where can we take you?
I want to race in a way where when I cross the line and look back, I can honestly say I left nothing out there.
Well, that gold medal is one of the signature Olympic moments 4 years ago, and Jessie Diggins will be competing again in Beijing. The Winter Olympics now less than 2 weeks away on NBC and Peacock. And just like Diggins, Tom Brady is also going for a repeat title as he keeps adding several postseason records to his resume. And since there's not a graphic big enough to suit all those records, Coach, we decided to just create like a scroll, like credits at the end of a movie. Like take a look at his postseason records. It's his 21st season as a starting quarterback. A win today would mean his 15th trip to the conference championship game. 2 of his 7 Super Bowl wins have come against the Rams, but he is 0-2 against LA since joining the Bucs. And while Tom Brady chases his 8th ring, there have been some questions about his future beyond this season as we welcome in Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk. Mike, what are you hearing about Brady's future?
This is one of the most amazing stories of the week. This guy has said for years he's going to play at least until he's 45. Throughout the season, he said on multiple occasions he's definitely playing in 2022, and then he'll figure out what to do after that. Then out of the blue, this week, the question comes up, will he retire after the season? I have no idea what changed or how it changed or why it changed, but the thinking is maybe he's gotten to the point where he recognizes he's missed too much of his family time. He's been around the NFL for 22 years now, and it could be that he takes a step back and figures out whether or not he truly does indeed intend to continue in 2022. But this thing is amazing how quickly it's bubbled up, and we have to take it seriously.
Okay, well, let's talk about some changes we could see on the coaching staff for the Buccaneers. Their offensive coordinator, Byron Leftwich, and defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles, have been interviewing for head coaching jobs. What is the update there?
Well, they're under consideration with multiple teams, and obviously they can't be hired while the Buccaneers are still in their playoff run. And the good news is, of the 8 head coaching vacancies in this cycle, we're 2 weeks removed from the end of the regular season. No one has been hired. And we've been saying for years, take your time, take your time, take your time. They're taking their time, and that's good for Leftwich and Bowles because no dominoes have fallen yet. They continue to be in consideration. We'll see how it all plays out.
And no one has been preaching take your time more than Coach. So what is your reaction to knowing that with the 8 head coaching vacancies, we still haven't seen an organization make a pick with who their new head coach will be?
I think it's great. It's great for Leftwich and Bowles in this game. In the next game, Brian Daboll and Leslie Frazier, coordinators for the Bills, they're in the mix too. And that's good. But, you know, it's also great for the owners. Take your time. Don't just look at who the best X and O guys are, who fits your philosophy, who's going to fit into your building. And you don't want to make a 1-year decision or a 2-year decision. This thing should be 10 or 12 years, so take your time. I love what they're doing.
You even said a 15-year decision.
15 years. Mike Tomlin.
Yes, Mike Tomlin. All right, well, Todd Bowles, his focus right now is slowing down. This guy's name is Cam Akers, and he's also going to be the subject of our Points Bet Pulse. Chris?
Yep, it's Points Bet Pulse time. And, you know, the running game, of course, is going to be a huge aspect for the Los Angeles Rams offense. Slowing down both of these teams' pass rushes. As you heard the great coach Tony Dungy talk about that in the opening. You got to do that. It's got to be one of the main things for your offense and their concern as far as slowing down these great pass rushers. You got Cam Akers back in the lineup for the Rams. Great running back. Again, they've been missing him all year. You can see his ability to get downhill and really in the run game be a force of nature there. Then slow down the Rams pass rush. How about get to the screen game a little bit? That to me is going to be one of the big aspects for the Buccaneers offense. Rams defense, it's Aaron Donald flying upfield, Von Miller, a quarterback's best friend. Just throw a few short screens, let them fly upfield, and then bam, there they go. Now, the other thing I want you to watch out for, Leonard Fournette. I want to see both of these teams run the football. Running attempts are going to be crucial for the Rams. It keeps their play action pass game, let alone slows that pass rush up. And hey, the first time around, Bucs threw the ball too much. Got to give the ball to Leonard Fournette more. Download the PointsBet app and get betting options you won't find anywhere else. Maria, over to you.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, guess what they're doing in Kansas City already? They're tailgating because they have won 5 straight home playoff games, so you might as well get there early. You might as well enjoy it, and that is going to be the home of the rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. It'll be Buffalo and Kansas City, and both teams with quarterbacks with a pair of 5-touchdown performances in Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes.
Josh Allen. All Josh Allen.
He's a tremendous player. They put a lot on his shoulders, and he rises to the occasion.
You know, he's done all the major things that you want to accomplish in your career. Obviously, he wants more.
Mahomes is on fire. The Chiefs are back-to-back AFC champions.
In order to be the best, you got to beat the best.
It's definitely a great challenge for us as a team to compete with them.
Time now to simplify the game, powered by Microsoft Surface. And if you like fireworks, you're going to see some when these two quarterbacks take the field together. They combine for 10 touchdowns, Chris, in the wildcard matchup. So what do you expect to see here today?
Well, I think these are the two best quarterbacks in the playoffs still. Yeah, I'm saying it, right? All right. I know Tampa's going to get mad at me, right? Your friends are going to get mad at me. We know that. But Josh Allen, Mahomes, what they both do, they're phenomenal with all the off-schedule plays they make. Let alone we know they can be surgical. I mean, Allen, buying time in the pocket, going to extend the play, manipulates the coverage with his eyes downfield. Here, maybe a little lucky, but still a great throw. Then pump to the left, laser beam down the right sideline. Listen, it's Allen and Mahomes. They're the only two guys in the sport that do this type of stuff. And then nobody's open. Oh, I'll go run for 30 yards. And that's where he's phenomenal, and just like Mahomes, Coach.
Yes, similar skill set. Move around a little bit, buy time, let your receivers find that time to get open. Manipulate with the pump fake in the eyes, touchdown pass. And then if you play man coverage, now you've got a hole and place to go. This is what both of these
can't stop him
do
sometimes.
so well.
Yeah, they would have gave you a lot of headaches back in the day. I know that.
All right, well, let's get more on the Bills and the Chiefs back out in Tampa. Jack, Rodney, Drew, what do you have?
Maria, we're getting used to seeing Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen lead this new generation of quarterbacks. But what player besides those two ends up deciding this game?
Kelsey is the key. He's the heart and soul of this offense. And when Patrick Mahomes, when he really truly needs a big play in the most critical moments, that's the guy that he goes to. Buffalo has two all-pro safeties, and they got to step up today and do a great job of slowing them down, Drew.
Yeah, and when they've struggled this year as an offense, it's when they got so enamored and infatuated with the big play, they forgot about the matchup that they had right underneath. Travis Kelce is the guy who moved the chains for this offense.
Absolutely. A couple great tight ends out here in this game behind us as well. And here in the NFC, Sean McVay, he helped Matthew Stafford cruise to his first playoff win, but now the Rams, they have to earn their respect against the championship defense that's led by Shaq Barrett.
First time you played them, they did not have Odell Beckham. They didn't have Cam Akers. What did you see watching tape that makes them a little different offense with these two guys?
You know, Odell is a great playmaker. He's a great receiver.
OBJ brings it in.
Double him and Cup. We got to pick our poison and put our best corner on one of them and then double the other two. And Akers, you just see how hard he ran last week. You could tell he's happy to be back. We looking forward to the challenge, and we're going to be ready to take it on, and we're going to do what we got to do. We excited when teams come in and think they're going to try to run on us for sure.
Simplify the game, powered by Microsoft Surface, the official sideline technology provider of the NFL.
LA, my home of Super Bowl 56, and home to a badass team on a mission. But a team winning it all at home, when have we seen that before?
Tom Brady just does his thing.
That's right. The top dog. This dude, he's the GOAT and knows how to put on a show.
Guess who's back?
Now, I got much love for you, 12. We all appreciate your greatness. But LA says you're going down. We on the road to Super Bowl 56. And one of y'all have a chance to join us. So just chill for the next episode.
Snoop will be part of a historic Pepsi Super Bowl halftime show in L.A. The Rams are hoping to experience some of that California love 3 weeks from today. The Bengals and 49ers have already secured their spot in the Final Four, but the defending champs are eyeing down a repeat. And less than a year ago, Tom Brady let that Lombardi fly over local waters, and Tampa wants to run that party back. Let's go on the field, presented by Progressive, and start with Cooper Kupp. He has been awesome, Drew.
Yeah, the key to any great receiver is the ability to get separation separation. And this guy with his releases, getting in and out of cuts, how he makes every route look the same, he has got it all. And when the Rams need a play, he's a guy who can step up and do it. If you want to study a wide receiver and his technique, watch this guy.
I had an opportunity to talk to two Bucs players. Number one, Leonard Fournette. He told me that he was 100% healthy. He has no restrictions, and he's going to have to play big out of the backfield catching the ball. Then I had an opportunity to talk to Antoine Winfield Jr. He told me it's so important that he protects the deep part of the field because he knows Stafford's coming after him.
Good conversations. You mentioned Cooper Kupp as well. Kupp, he went off back in week 3. So what can McVay take from that game plan the first time these two met?
Well, the Rams offense did a lot of great things. They protected Stafford, and they were able to make big plays down the field. And it was really the wide array of this offense. So the screen game, whenever they felt this interior pressure, which you get a lot of from the Bucs defense, they find these receiver screens, get blockers out on the perimeter, make some big plays that way. Otherwise, when they wanted to take shots, they would protect these edges. They would chip both JPP and Shaq Barrett and deliver the ball down the field. And then when you would get these exterior pressures, Stafford did a nice job of deciphering it, get the ball out of his hands quickly, into his playmaker's hands in space. That's how you beat this defense. Get the ball out of your hands, avoid the negative play, take care of the football.
I thought Matthew Stafford did an excellent job recognizing where the blitz was coming from, getting rid of it. But if I'm Todd Bowles, Matthew Stafford has never played on this level. He has not played in a game of this magnitude. So I'm coming out, I'm stopping the run, and in the fourth quarter, I want to put it in his hands to have to be able to win. So I'm throwing everything at him. Blitzes, I'm rushing 3, dropping 8, linebackers, safeties. I'm doing a plethora of defenses. So every time he drops back, he has to try to figure out exactly what they're doing.
It's going to help Stafford that Odell Beckham Jr. is starting to look like OBJ again at the same time. He's found his best form as all these players are taking the field. He's helped replace all that Robert Woods has meant to this offense. Chris Sims caught up with Odell this week.
Well, looky who we have here. Wait, you're still good at football. I didn't know you knew how to play anymore.
Oh, man. I might know how to play a little bit.
What a catch by Beckham! You know, what is it that seems to make players love playing for the LA Rams?
I don't know if it's good or bad, but Vaughn used to always be like, man, it feels like the Pro Bowl. It feels like the Pro Bowl. And it's very laid back, but it's very, focused on the work. It's just been a perfect fit.
Showtime. Look out. I'm going in. Sweet feet.
It just truly has allowed me to be successful and to want to succeed.
Middle of the season, not easy going to a new team. Talk to me about the process of building chemistry.
That wasn't easy, but as far as timing and rhythm, and we kind of had to learn, in game. We kind of had to learn on the fly.
This is the explosiveness from OBJ.
What is it like being a super freaky athlete on a team full of super freaky athletes?
It feels like you just fit right in. You know what I mean? And I kind of came late to the party, but it still feels very special, like I've been here,
No fear, only faith.
What is your approach going to in a game like this with this type of defense?
Their defense is going to say, this is who we are, this is what we do, and this is how we play. And it's like, for us, and accept the challenge that you have in front of you.
Stafford fires. It's Kupp again.
Knowing that it's going to be a battle. It's, the defending champs. I think all of us are just looking forward to the opportunity to get another Sunday of football, when it counts.
Time now for today's Game Flow presented by Progressive. And great job, Chris Sims. I don't know how you get super freaky athletes in a conversation 5 times, but you managed to do it. Odell Beckham. Okay, he said they've been learning in-game and on the fly. It's resulted in 6 touchdowns in 9 games for him. So walk us through the impact that he's had on the Rams.
Well, he's certainly special. As we can see, he still beat man-to-man coverage. He's a great route runner coach, right? That's the one thing we know. And he's given their offense another avenue as far as, it doesn't have to be the run game and Cooper Kupp. Now you add Odell Beckham Jr. to the mix. You make defenses think about how they want to guard you. I mean, look at this move at the top of the route there.
Goodness.
That was special. That's right. So he can do everything within their offense, and then they got this guy, Coach.
And he has the chemistry with Matthew Stafford. Unbelievable in the red zone, just getting open. And then Sean McVay has so many different ways to help him with these rubs and picks. And you've got to take care of Cooper Kupp in the red zone. 16 touchdown catches.
All right, that was today's Game Flow presented by Progressive. But you bring up the red zone. The Rams scored on 3 of their 4 trips to the red zone during the wild card match matchup. So what's the impact that those two have?
Well, what Odell has brought, and we heard Shaq Barrett talk about it, now you have to pick your poison. And the Rams do a great job of putting them on opposite sides. Yep. Odell Beckham here, Cooper Kupp here, and now all Matthew Stafford has to do, Chris, is watch this safety. Where is he going? Who is he going to double?
And I'm going to the opposite guy. The play is for Cooper Kupp, but they set it up to go, if you want to double him, then you're going to be one-on-one with Odell, and now the quarterback has to make the decision.
Stafford sees this right now, double Kupp, which you have to do, but now I've got Odell Beckham with a two-way go. And how many times has Odell seen this in his career? I've got the whole half of the field to work.
Probably hasn't seen it since like his rookie year, right? Before he jumped on the scene.
Eyes light up. Let me go to my guy. Easy read, touchdown.
Yeah, and for not a real big guy, he is unbelievable in those 50-50 ball type of situations. He gets off the line of scrimmage really great, and of course we know his hands are famous, and he can go up and get it. He's dangerous. They're going to have their hands full, that Bucs D, with those two guys today.
Okay, well, let's actually talk a little bit more defense, Coach, because I know that's what you really want to do.
Defense.
Yes, let's go back on the field. Shaq Barrett, remember, he missed the last two regular season games. He came back, had an interception against Philly.
Yes, interceptions are great, but Shaq Barrett is there to rush the passer, and that's what he wants to do. He knows that's going to be big tonight. And he doesn't want to just rush and get hits. He wants to make big plays.
We want to come out there and be aggressive like Coach Bowles. And when we getting after the quarterback, we know sacks is great, but strip sacks is even better.
And he will be playing against a backup tackle in the Rams, Joseph Noteboom. Watch out, Joseph.
Yeah, watch out. That's right. Watch out, Matthew Stafford.
Meanwhile, Jalen Ramsey, though, for the Rams, they got a three-time All-Pro.
What? I mean, this is stars versus stars in this football game. I think that's why it's so awesome. Jalen Ramsey's one of the best defensive players in football. It's Hollywood. He fits exactly what they want. Again, can play, can tackle, can cover man-to-man, can play zone coverage. And Maria, I would expect to see him matched up in Mike Evans in some big situations today.
Yeah, I talked to him earlier this week, and Mike Evans said it's always going to be a challenge going up against Jalen Ramsey, but he's coming off a season-high 9 catches for 117 yards and a touchdown, and he got a lot of high praise from Tom Brady afterwards.
Always can count on him, dependable, tough, made some huge catches for us. He's just he's an amazing player.
What's it like to hear him give you praise like that from a guy who is widely considered the greatest of all time at the quarterback position?
It's something I don't take for granted. I mean, I used to be a kid watching Tom Brady beat up my Indianapolis Colts. He's making me cry, and now he's giving me coaching lessons, and he's throwing me the ball. He's my quarterback. We're trying to win championships together. It's very surreal.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Great grab, Mike Evans.
Being in the playoffs, it's no greater feeling. The big-time players really step up and show out, and I'm grateful that I'm in this position now.
All right, Coach, I need you to close your eyes because we have a flashback coming your way. The 1999 NFC Championship game, Bucs and St. Louis Rams. Do you remember this catch, no catch?
I certainly do.
Oh, man. Coach, the rules like today, you went to the Super Bowl again.
There was no way that was a no catch. We weren't even thinking about it, and then they had this discussion. I'm like, what are they talking about?
They're coming to tell you that it was not a catch, but it did come with the Burt Emanuel rule, so as long as a player maintains control of it through the touching of the ground, you do have a catch.
Oh, that's your consolation prize, Coach. Your team changed the rule book. Look at that. Look at that.
Do we know what a catch is today?
No, we're still discussing that.
We're still working on that, Coach, basically.
Oh, that
Coach,
was
is that the most crushing loss of your career?
That was. We're up 6-5, couldn't hold the lead, and then we're trying to score there, and that play not only cost us yards, but cost us a timeout.
So you see the shades of familiarity. We'll see if we have a really controversial call here today in this matchup. That was 22 years to the date that game happened. But let's talk about today. And today's Next Gen Stats powered by AWS. Tom Brady's average time to throw this season was second fastest in the NFL. So, Chris, are you expecting to see more of that type of timing here this afternoon?
Without a doubt. I think it's got to be something like that. With this pass rush we're talking about, coaches talking about the injuries on the offensive line for the Bucs. Brady's so smart, seen every defense in the history of football, knows where to go with the ball and get the ball out of his hands. This will be a huge key to the game because you don't want Von Miller, Aaron Donald strip sack, and now they get an extra possession. I think he'll be very aware of this throughout the day, Coach.
And when he does want to throw the ball up the field, use extra protection. Gronk stay in, back, look for Aaron Donald, chip. Let those receivers now develop those deep routes. And this is what we saw in the first game. Anytime they wanted to put it a little farther up the field, used 7 men to protect, and then you saw some separation.
Well, we've already noticed, guys, that Tristan Wirf's out, which is the best offensive lineman for Tampa Bay. We've watched Ryan Jensen kind of warm it up. Still maybe looks a little bit gimpy on the field. So let's talk about the mismatch that you want them to exploit, considering all the injuries they're facing on the offensive line.
Sure. I think you help out your offensive line, Tom Brady, against this great D-line. Screen games. That's the first thing I would talk about. Bucs are one of the best screen teams in football, whether it's the wide receivers or the running backs. And then I think the other thing is, and we've talked about this with the Rams a few weeks ago, who do they struggle with on defense? Teams that run the ball right at them, right? Like the 49ers in Week 18. The Bucs have a big, overpowering offensive line, and in both losses in the regular season the last 2 years, they've kind of abandoned the run and played right into the Rams' hands of like, hey, it's going to be pass and pass rush, and that's not a good thing.
Leonard Fournette is back. He's a big hammer. Use him. Run the ball straight ahead. See if they can handle that physical run.
Agreed.
Well, one thing we know for sure is someone's going to be physical. His name is Aaron Donald. Wrecked the game here today for the Bucs. He's one of the best defensive linemen in history and was named first-team All-Pro for the 7th straight season. Donald spoke with Mike Tirico this week.
Aaron Donald saying it can't possibly be this easy. Sometimes people are looking for somebody else to give Defensive Player of the Year award to because you've won it 3 times, and let's find somebody else. But you're still as dominant as you've ever been. I see you smiling. Do you feel like sometimes people take for granted your dominance at the position?
When you play consistent football at a dominant level and you consistently showing it year in and year out, I think people kind of just expect you to do that. Trying to find ways to be dominant through a slide protection, a double team, triple team, and still trying to find ways to have success to help my team. That's what it's about for me.
You got a great shot to be in Canton. Von Miller's going to be in Canton. What's it like to line up with maybe a couple of Hall of Famers side by side?
It's a blessing. You always dream about and wish that you had opportunity to play with certain players, Von being one of them. It's been fun having great games in the middle, having a great year at the nose tackle position, rushing his butt off. You just know when you got certain guys around you, you know that they're going to get the job done.
I want to ask you about this Brady guy. What'd you learn about playing Brady in a playoff game that can help you today?
There's going to be plays where you're going to have to hold the ball, and that's the plays that we're going to have to get him down to the ground or put the pressure on him or make him feel uncomfortable to the point he can't step up in the pocket.
Is that true even with the best quarterback of all time, that if you can just rattle him, you can have an effect on him in a big game like this?
Yes. Nobody want to get hit a bunch of times, and then you got a bunch of guys flying around and ball hunting, trying to get to you. Somebody around your legs or somebody hitting you while you're trying to throw the ball. Everything ain't going to be how you want it to be, so that's what we got to do.
Mike Tirico, thank you. And the Rams, they have the best pass rush Tom Brady has seen since New Orleans came to town. I know Drew Brees remembers that. Plus, the Bucs offensive line is beat up. So how overwhelming can this Aaron Donald pairing with Von Miller be?
Man, Aaron Donald is nasty. He's the best player on the planet, but he is nasty. Did you see that clip when he took Brady and he tried to slam him in? That's what he does. When he gets to the quarterback, he's not trying to shake your hand. He's trying to punish you, Drew, and you know about that.
Listen, I got a missing ligament here in my thumb because of Aaron Donald. Missed 5 games a couple years ago. But you're right. Him and Von Miller on the field at the same time. As a quarterback, you're trying to get yourself protection so you can deliver the ball down the field. You pick your poison. You can't block both these guys.
In this Tampa offense, it was weakened a little bit late in the season. So what's the best formula with the remaining playmakers that Tom Brady still has?
Well, we know this. He loves Mike Evans. He loves Gronk. He's going to trust those guys in a crunch situation. He's going to them. But some of these other young players have to be able to step up. In the game last week, whenever Evans was one-on-one, Tom Brady was throwing the ball to him. Whenever he needed to find a rhythm and get something going, he was finding Gronk. 1, 2, 3 plays in a row. But it's the times where those guys are doubled or taken away, where these young guys like Tyler Johnson in the middle of the field, Cam Brate, others are going to need to come up with plays. It started off really slow last week. It began to pick up. He began to find the confidence and rhythm with them. Those guys are going to need to step up and make some plays in this game.
But guys, you got to understand, Tom Brady hasn't always played with Hall of Famers and all-pro players. He's played with really good football players that didn't have the big names. So Tom, and that's one of the most impressive things about Brady, he can play with anybody. It doesn't matter who you line up next to him.
And it always helps that he's had this decade-long friendship with a man named Rob Gronkowski. He is our Sunday Night 7 this week. How many catches and receiving yards for Gronk?
Well, I just talked to to Gronk, and it's so important for him to have the man at middle. So I'm thinking 5 receptions between 50 and 69 yards.
There you go. You can make your picks along with us on the NBC Sports Predictor app as Tom Brady. 35 playoff wins to his name. He's trying to hunt down ring number 8. But Aaron Donald, he is out for redemption from Super Bowl 53. He brings that interior heat that has been Brady's kryptonite at times, and Matthew Stafford made his first playoff win look easy, but now he'll have to level up against the defending champs.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are still alive in their defense of their Super Bowl championship.
What we're going to do now is go back.
Hey,
Talk about your quarterback winning the Super Bowl down here. Can the Bucs repeat?
Absolutely. And I look at Coach Arians and the job that he's done. You think about guys wanting to come back. That's a direct reflection of the head coach.
Clearly, I think the most talented team in the NFC right now. That's one thing I look at to go, yeah, they got a great chance.
Taylor Heineke almost beat them in the wild
that's what I
card
mean.
game.
But they played their best game in the Super Bowl, so that's the last thought we got.
What about you, Drew? Toughest part about repeating?
It's dealing with the expectations. The benefit that they had last year was they stayed healthy. So a lot of things had to fall in place for them in order for them to win one last year.
But you can be a better team and not win it.
That's exactly right.
You think they will?
I don't.
I think they're repeating. I'm not
You
betting
two do?
against Tom.
Good. Well, we'll come behind you guys. We can at least come back to Foster's. So I'll make sure somebody can lead us back into town.
What an amazing way to start week 1. Remember, we started our season in Tampa,
Amazing.
and that was a preseason barbershop visit for you guys. But, Coach, you said it. Just because you're the most talented team doesn't mean you're going to win it.
Yeah, and the Bucs have had a lot of injuries that they've had to deal with. But I can tell you this, everybody else in the barbershop says they're repeating. So what do you think, Chris?
I know it's going to be close, but the health of their team certainly is a big question mark going against this Rams football
You
team.
said they're the best team in the NFC when the season started. You still believe it?
Well, you'll see in a few minutes when we pick the game.
Okay, fair enough. We are still waiting to kick off your divisional Sunday. Remember, today's winner will host the 49ers next week in the NFC Championship. And then we got the Bills-Chiefs tonight from Arrowhead. The winner of that one will host the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. We are still waiting for kickoff. 2 minutes and 45 seconds before Brady actually takes the field. And remember, they're the reigning Super Bowl champions taking on the Rams, and the Rams got the victory during the regular season, 34-24. But what is the one thing to watch you're thinking right now, Chris Sims, in this matchup?
Well, I think it's how both teams manage the other team's pass rush. You know, who's not going to let Aaron Donald or Sue or somebody get after them with a strip sack fumble? That's what I look at. Specifically, the Bucs here. The Bucs are the team that have lost twice to the Rams. And are they going to run the ball with Leonard Fournette? And how do they protect Brady? I think they were a little arrogant in how much they passed the last 2 times against this great Rams defense.
Cam Akers and Leonard Fournette were not factors in the first game. Which team is going to run the ball with their running back?
All right, it's about that time. It's time now for our home team picks brought to you by Lowe's. We start with America's pick. Jack?
Maria, 52% of the country is on LA. The Bucs supporting cast has faded, but they're still here while LA feels like a sleeping giant that is now coming to life. And Tom Brady, he's always hated that interior pass rush while the Rams built their team around it. Give me LA. Here you go.
I said it at Foster's at the beginning of the year that the Bucs would not repeat. Why? Because the Rams are going to beat them today. They got Cam Akers back. They've got Odell Beckham Jr. They've got Von Miller, who they didn't have in the first matchup. Rams are going to find a way to win.
It's pretty obvious I got 2 haters next to me right now because I'm going with experience. I'm going with the guys that have been there, the guys that have done it on the highest level. Matthew Stafford hasn't. Doesn't mean that he can't, but I'm going with Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I knew you would. Mike Florio, who you going with?
Yeah, that's the real question. Can Matthew Stafford beat Tom Brady? Well, Jimmy Garoppolo beat Aaron Rodgers, so it's not going to happen twice. Tom Brady over Stafford. Brady advances. Give me the Bucs.
All right, Florio, I'm going with the Rams. I don't pick against Stafford.
Yes, and I think it's going to be a passing game, and that's why I'm going to pick the Bucs and Tom Brady.
All right, I'm going Rams here. I think in a close one. I think they're the kryptonite for this Bucs football team. I think they're going to give them issues. I'm going Rams. I say Stafford plays well.
All right, well, those were today's home team picks brought to you by Lowe's. And Chris, going with the Rams. We are set to kick it off in Tampa between the Bucs and the Los Angeles Rams. The winner moves on to face San Francisco in the NFC Championship game. Al, Chris, Michelle, and Catherine Tappan have the call. We'll see you at halftime.
This has been Football Night in America, presented by Progressive.